Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Walking in Her Shoes with my beautiful co-host, Makira. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm good. I'm doing well. How about yourself, doctor?
I am doing fantastic this evening, and I am so excited for us to come back together and, you know, just explore this Queen Bee by Dr. Jackie Walters. I mean, the women are loving the information, and so thank you so much for a job well done, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you ready to jump right into this one?
We are ready to jump right in. Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So the doctor, Dr. Walters, in this chapter, I'm working from chapter 4. And in chapter 4, she really encourages us as women to explore our sexual desires and really getting to know ourselves and our bodies much more intimately so that we can be more aware of what sexually pleases us. So in this particular section of chapter 4, she titles it How to Set Your GPS for Sexual Satisfaction. And so in here, she says, finding what excites you is a little chemistry experiment I encourage you to do as often as possible. You have to know what you want if you expect to get it. It's not fair to ask your partner to guess whether they should be knocking on door number 1, 2, or 3, and then what to do once it opens. And I think a lot of times as women, we're not taught to sexually explore ourselves and know how to please ourselves. I think we do expect some of us expect our partners to know what to do and how to do it. We're all individuals, and I don't think that's fair at all.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, one woman next to us may be pleased by one way, and another woman is pleased another way. And I think that's the great part about notorious vages. Remember, we talked about the vaginal personalities earlier in the book.
Yes.
So the notorious vag, she is going to be more aware of what pleases her sexually than the Virgin Mary that we had learned about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like what you're saying here too, because, when you say that and this is a really, really good point, that each woman is made differently. Each woman is different. And I think that is sometimes why sexual dissatisfaction happens, because the male is thinking that, well, all women are, not all women are the same, but what it took to get one woman there, it would take to get the next woman there. And that's not
Right.
true. We're dispelling that myth. And then, like you said, for the women or for the female, she should know her own body, but I think it's getting comfortable with articulating. And in order to be able to articulate it to your partner, you have to be able to explore yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the one part about that too is women, we are, I want to say, shunned, and maybe there's a stigma. We learned about that early in the book, how the notorious vages are deemed that as, if I can say this, and I don't mean this to be offensive to anyone, but we label those type of women as hoes. And I don't think that's necessarily fair to our sisters, because they're just women who know how to sexually satisfy themselves and please themselves. So as we continue through this small section, I think it may shed some light to us in regards to how we choose to have our relationships, our intimate relationships, and how they may look for some of us versus others, and how that may help us or hurt us in the long term.
That's great information, because I don't think that it's explored enough, or it's like, keep it quiet. Let's not talk about it. But I think that's what the big issue is. We're not talking enough about it.
Got it. Exactly. We're not talking about it.
Awesome.
So she gives 5 steps. Okay. 5 good steps. And so step number 1 is do you. Do you, ladies. That means literally what Dr. Walters says is literally get in touch with yourself. Have some sexual exploration. What does that mean? You got to figure out where you're most comfortable, what rises the temperature in your body. Some of us enjoy getting our earlobes rubbed. Are the inner of your legs a sensitive spot for you? Do you like being touched? Do you like being kissed? What parts of your face may heighten an arousal within you? How do we figure that part out though? You got to touch yourself. You got to be willing to maybe play with your earlobe. Those days when you are just sitting around and maybe you're feeling something, don't even realize that you're playing with your collarbone, or you are playing with your face, or maybe you haven't touched the inside of your legs, or you have to know where those pleasing spots are for you. That's going to heighten your awareness on your body. So you
Like
have
you
to know
said,
that.
the only way to do that is to explore.
Sure, exactly. So touching yourself, nothing is wrong with touching yourself.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, you
Yeah.
just freed a whole lot of women.
Nothing is wrong with touching yourself, ladies. Nothing at all. It might be even a cleaner experience than somebody else touching you. So, number 2, flip some pages. In this section, she's talking about, I believe that many of us have heard about Kama Sutra, right? And in Kama Sutra, that definitely discusses, those who are familiar, or if you're not familiar, Kama Sutra introduces us to different positions, sexual positions, and intimate positions that could cause orgasm within the body, whether it's with a man or a woman. And then sometimes we have books like the Zane Chronicles. So Zane Chronicles is the author Zane, and Zane definitely writes a lot about sexual encounters within a Black community. So they're fictional books, my understanding,
Okay.
but they definitely illustrate a lot of erotic reading for you. So Zane is definitely erotic.
Now go back to, okay, so you said with Kama Sutra, it is different positions, right?
Yeah, stay there to educate on different intimate positions. Yeah.
Different intimate positions. So just so that the ladies are clear, the different intimate positions can help bring you to reach your climax by having a different position. Well, I mean, some people don't know that.
Right. There is a difference too between climax and having an orgasm. There are differences, and a lot of people like to intertwine them and
Right.
think, identify them as the same, and they're not. You can climax and not orgasm. You can orgasm and not climax. So there's a difference between the two. And that, again, that's where Kama Sutra comes into play, because it educates you on sex. It educates you on intimacy, and it illustrates to you what that actually may look like for you. So it helps you be able to explore. It's like the encyclopedia of intimacy.
Help our viewers understand the difference between a climax and orgasm. Because I mean, it's like, aren't they the same?
So a client, one of the two, and I don't want to definitely, because I like to, when I'm presenting information, know exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
I don't want to give the information exactly how it is, but I know that one is just that sensation and that feeling that goes within the body, and the other is the actual release of the body fluid.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, but what I would definitely do is make note of that so that I have that information for you when we come back.
That'd be great. We got a cliffhanger here, ladies.
So climax.
Cliffhangers are great.
Versus orgasm.
Okay.
She has it in this book. She might.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, we're encouraging our ladies to go out and seek information about things that, we may think that we know, but have no idea.
Right. It may actually be really simple for me to do it this way. My mail just arrived. Okay, so it says,
ladies, I hope you have your pens out. Hope you got your paper out. And you probably want to take a whole notebook of notes just on our topics on walking in her shoes, especially as we're going through the Queen Bee, the book. I'm getting some tidbits here that I didn't know about. So we all gonna get educated here.
So what I'm reading is, when a woman orgasms, there's a change throughout the whole body, a head to toe kind of experience. You experience excitement, you plateau, you orgasm. It's a rhythm of contractions occurring in the uterus, vagina, and the pelvic floor. So if you're having sex and you have an orgasm, the man can, or your partner, if they're inside of your cervix, they can actually feel changes within your cervix happening and occurring. Okay. You may not be aware of that change, but they can actually feel that change taking place. It says the sexual tension caused by lovemaking or self-stimulation releases, and muscles throughout the body may contract. A feeling of warmth usually emanates from the pelvis and spreads throughout the entire body. Okay.
All right.
All right.
That was a minute to just resonate. Let that resonate with you and fill in some of your notes.
Yeah. But, and some people, and I've read somewhere too, and I need to go back and research that a little bit more, because I always thought orgasm and climax was the same. But I did as I was further researching it at one point, I was just reading over it for one day for some example, and I could be wrong, but I want to go back and really look over it. My understanding is a climax and the orgasm are not the same, but I'm gonna check into it to make sure.
Okay. And that will be very, very interesting for us to know. We're gonna put a little question mark. Maybe we get some comments and some conversation around it, because that's very interesting. And it's again, though, as we're traveling through this journey, it's good for us to know, because some of the things that we think we know, we're debunking some of that right now.
Right, exactly.
And so that was one of the things when she said flip some pages. That means go ahead and do some educating yourself, some research. Absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Isn't that something, how we put more time into our accountants and into finding a tax preparer or anything else other than what we need to do in one of the most important relationships that we're encounter is somebody that we're going to spend our life with, or somebody that we're that intimately involved in, and we don't put any time or any effort into finding out these simple things about, this is the whole thing that we're talking about today in getting to know your own body.
Yes. So I will definitely look that up, but I do believe that orgasms and climaxes are different, and the orgasm comes before a climax. So, but I'm gonna research that.
Okay.
So I'm sure. Yes.
Okay. All right.
For sure.
Good stuff.
All right. So flip them pages. Getting hot thinking about your man pleasing you in the shower is what I'm talking about right here, basically. So there's a difference between knowing. A lot of times we as women want to get real pleased off of that man coming in, and they might take over some of that housework for us, and that makes us hot, make us feel good, really. But that is more about our emotional side, not our physical side. So we want to know about what is pleasing us physically. Are you the type of woman that likes to have sex in the shower? Do you enjoy having sex outdoors? Does that cause you to arouse yourself in a sexual way? Does that heighten your senses and get you going? Know that about
yourself. That's so good. I love that. I love the fact that we're doing self-care here. We're focusing in on ourselves, because as women, we're taught so much to nurture everybody else.
Right, exactly.
And so now we're saying in reverse, we're saying reverse that, turn that self-care onto yourself.
Right.
We're talking about heightening our experiences by doing some self-care ourselves. And I love that. That's amazing to me.
Yes, it is. So number 4, and a lot of us, some of us, I shouldn't say a lot because I'm not really sure of who and how many, but we shy away from pornography. Oh, pornography is bad, right? But in all actuality, pornography is just a video or a physical illustration of what the books actually give us. So pornography gives you ideas of how you may want to enhance yourself sexually or intimately. It teaches you a lot. It can definitely teach you the do's and the don'ts of having sex, what turns you on and what doesn't turn you on visually. Those things are important for you as well. So we have 5 senses, doctor. We have our sense of sight. We have our sense of smell. We have our sense of taste. We have our sense of touch, right? So sight, smell, taste, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing one. Hearing. Hearing. So when we lighten our candles, those are things that we want to do. We talk about setting the mood, right? So we lighten candles, we are dimming lights, different things like that. When you're looking at pornography, pornography helps deal with your sense of sight. What are the things that you know you can see that turns you on? Are you turned on by that man on the TV screen or however you're watching it, by a certain position that he's doing or something that he may be doing to his partner on TV, and that might excite you and want you to try it yourself? So don't be afraid to explore some pornography.
That's a good thing. That's good, because again, we're it's a lot of things that we have been taught is just like is wrong, or we've been programmed that sex is, is nasty, basically, and it's
Right.
but then it's like, okay, now if you have all of this, and correct me if I'm wrong though, but if you have all these tapes playing in your head, then there's a sense of guilt that when you it kind of hinders you from fully opening up, from fully exploring, and from fully taking part in something that's really meant to be a gift to us.
Exactly. We're human. Sex definitely is a means of procreation, right?
Right.
But in order to procreate, we have to engage.
Absolutely. Remember my daughter told me one of the holidays, she was like, she counted everybody. She said, wow, you're responsible for all 9 of us being here, even though it's 3 of them and then all the grandchildren. She was like, you're responsible. I was like, well, how deep is this conversation?
Absolutely. So last but not least, number 5, road experiences. So not being afraid to take opportunities to have sexual encounters where you feel safe.
Yeah.
Sorry. To have sexual encounters where you're feeling safe and willing to open up to engaging in learning about what your sexual style is. I'm sorry. I just had some distractions. I apologize. But not being afraid to, what she writes in here is it's going to take a lot more sexual encounters to figure out what you like in bed. To figure out what you like in bed. Basically getting to know what you like. You got to physically actually do it. So you got to have sex in order to know what pleases you during sex. She said you have to have a lot of different partners. No.
Right.
But you got to be willing to explore, and you got to be willing to talk with that one partner that you have. And if that partner isn't pleasing you, you have to be willing to say, well, maybe I need to find a different partner. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yes. That. And also I think being open to be able, again, knowing that partner, knowing your partner, I'm real big on this. I'm real big on this interrogation thing, right? So like interrogating your partner up front. And some of these questions or some of these things are good conversation to know how you're able to open up with that person, right? So I keep saying interrogation at the beginning. They're like, well, how close at the beginning of the relationship should you talk about it? But if you're considering this person for a partner or I call them purpose partners or what have you, if you are looking at this person for that, then you should be able to be comfortable enough to talk to them about, I'm saying about everything.
About everything.
And not excluding the sexual encounter, because there was a movie out, oh my goodness, it was about a therapist, and it was one of Tyler Perry's plays, and I'm trying to remember the name of the movie, but along the way, what tore the marriage up of this young couple, what tore their marriage up, one of the things was that,
why did I get married?
What was it?
Why Did I Get Married? Was it with Janet Jackson?
No, it wasn't that. What was there an example in that one too? Because that might give me that example.
She was a therapist. Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to do that right now. Okay. I can't remember. But I remember her being a therapist, and they were having problems in their relationship, and it was because they lacked communication. They could not communicate.
That was with the communication part of it, with the and I remember that. Yeah, I'm a movie buff. The other one was oh my goodness, man, I can't think of the name of it, but the young lady in the movie wanted to be open sexually, and she actually married like her high school sweetheart or something like that. She was the therapist, and then he was more like, okay, missionary, this is how we're supposed to do it. This is how we're going to do it basically forever. This is how we're going to do it. And she explored
into it with one of her clients.
She did. And then, but this is the thing though, and this is the part that we don't pay attention to. One of the things that she did was when first she was like, no to the client and being faithful to her marriage. But she came home and was like to her husband, hey, this is what I want. Let's do this. And she just kind of attacked him, and he scolded her and was like, no, shut down, did not want to go any, what have you. So that's what I'm saying about communication and about like upfront conversation, because if you don't have that upfront conversation and you can't be comfortable talking to your partner, then that's a part of the, what do you say, the do's, the don'ts, that's a part of the red flag. So that's a part of compatibility or communication issue.
Right. Stop it.
And like it did with that other one, it can, your cat wants to do a cameo. Is it he or she? He or she?
She.
Communicating with you right now.
Yes, he is. He's like, can you hurry up, please? Because
got it. We got the message. But yeah, so I just think that that's a great thing. Like you said, have a safe place to explore and to communicate.
Right. Exactly.
To be able to communicate.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly.
So yeah, this is exciting. I think she brought the excitement today. What was your cat's name? What's your cat's name?
It's my four-legged other friend named Twigs. Yes. Well, doctor, if I can go on and bring us to a close, if you don't mind, if we can come on to a close.
No, absolutely. We went a little bit over time, but so this was exciting. We had fun today. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. So bye for now. Stay fearless.
Have a good one.